Hi, I'm Michael Keaton. And back in the late 1970s, when I still lived in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I worked for a couple of years at WQED, the public television station there. I was on the floor crew of a lot of shows, including Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I was even on the program a couple of times. But that was back when I was a serious actor. Yes, I knew Fred Rogers and I worked with Fred Rogers, and he was essentially the same guy off camera as he was on camera. We obviously didn't know back then that The Neighborhood would become the longest running program on public television. It was a simple, old-fashioned production that everybody really enjoyed working on. Nothing was canned. Johnny Costa always played the opening song fresh every time, and Fred sang the song live for every episode.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a
Look at the sweaters he's got. This is the famous part of every show. This is the stuff the comedians love to make fun of. Fred comes in, puts on this totally nerdy zip-up cardigan, and then changes his shoes.
with you, so let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
The neighborhood shows conform to a simple pattern.
This is a puzzle.
Once Mr. Rogers is comfortable, he often talks about things that he's brought. And each week of programs deals with some topic or theme, like the environment, kindness, or going to school.
Welcome to bus number 17. So being mayor for half a day was enough for Queen Sarah.
The neighborhood shows have a leisurely pace, not a lot of fast cutting. When Fred walks from his living room to the kitchen, he sometimes stops at the aquarium to feed the fish or to talk to them.
All of you are fish, yet each one of you is different.
Then there's Mr. McFeely, the speedy delivery man, who often comes to visit. He brings packages and other surprises.
Mr. McFeely, you have a goat.
I do. I'm on.
Occasionally, Fred goes to visit other folks and places in the neighborhood. And there's a music shop run by Joe Negri. Joe is a jazz guitarist who's been a neighbor since the earliest days of the program. Lots of people love the neighborhood's short documentary segments, too, when kids get to see how various everyday things are made. Many of these segments are on videotapes that Mr. McFeely brings to show Fred on a sort of TV called Picture Picture. Occasionally, Mr. Rogers himself goes to a factory, like here, when everybody learns about pretzels.
Then the fingers will pick it up and twist it into a pretzel.
I've never seen anything like that. Doesn't matter how fancy.
To end every day, Mr. Rogers changes back into his more formal clothes and heads out the door.
I'll be back next time. Bye.
Fred Rogers made all these programs in Pittsburgh in the studios at WQED. His own company, Family Communications Incorporated, is located there too and includes many of the people who helped Fred put together all the productions.
Are you Bob Mewen?
For the neighborhood, Fred Rogers himself wrote the scripts and the songs and the lyrics.
No.
The jazz pianist Johnny Costa was the neighborhood's first musical director, and he helped establish the style, arranged the songs, and improvised much of the score for the series.
And that can have a fermata. It's the only time in the whole song that we used it.
It's intriguing, isn't it?
Actually, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is filled with music. Sometimes Fred's songs tackle unusual topics like the fear of going down the bathtub drain or celebrating how each person's body is special. We're in southwestern Pennsylvania, in the small town of Latrobe. It's also the home of Arnold Palmer and Rolling Rock beer.
Well, of course, it's the garden spot of the world, as Lady Elaine Fairchild would say. It's a good small town.
Fred was born on March 20th, 1928. His parents were James and Nancy Rogers. They lived in a big red brick house near the top of Weldon Street. One night in 1993 on the Arsenio Hall show, Fred talked about some of his early memories.
Yeah, when I was 3, this young man was just an early teenager, and his mother had died, and my mom and dad said, come live with us. And he turned out to be a real model for me. As a matter of fact, when I was in high school,
he taught me how to fly. And right after that, he went to teach at Tuskegee Institute in Alabama and taught all of the black flyers in the country to fly in the Second World War.
Yeah.
His name was George Allen, and he's going to be 80 this year, and I really admire him.
Yeah.
So I had a black brother even then.
When Fred was 11, he became a big brother when his parents adopted a baby girl named Elaine. And it's not unusual on the program for Mr. Rogers to share memories of his own childhood.
When I come out here, sometimes I think about a time when I was very little. You know, I wasn't allowed to go out of the house by myself when I was very little. My parents were afraid that somebody might take me away and they wouldn't see me again. So they always said, Freddie, when you want to go outside, always tell somebody, and somebody can go with you.
One of the most important somebodies in Fred's childhood was his grandfather.
And my grandfather played the violin, and I remember he would play this song. Play gypsy, dance gypsy, play while you may. Play gypsy, 'tis a lovely day. I remember doing that to please him. And we called him Ding Dong. That was Mr. McFeely. And you know we've named Mr. McFeely for my grandfather McFeely. And I was named for him. His name was Fred Brooks McFeely. And my name is Fred McFeely Rogers. The middle part of which is speedy delivery.
Music was a very important part of Fred's childhood.
Music was my first language. I was at times scared to use words. I didn't want to be a bad boy. I didn't want to show people that I was angry, or rather tell them. But I could show it through the way I would play on the piano. I could literally laugh or cry or be very angry through the ends of my fingers. And for an only child, I think that was very safe and comfortable. So it was, this was my friend.
Fred's proud parents took lots of pictures and home movies of their boy. And Mr. Rogers has used these keepsakes to remind his neighbors that all grown-ups were children once too. As a boy, Fred traveled a lot, suffered from many allergies. He was chubby for a while, and he began his lifelong fascination with puppets. He always kept a ventriloquist dummy that he got as a boy.
Well, it was like this. I went to a camp one time because there was a ventriloquist there, and I was interested in that kind of stuff. I mean, I was interested in puppets, you know, all my young life. A little girl named him. His original name was Elmer. Yeah, but she didn't like it, no. And I said, well, what would you like him to be called? And she said, Hisher Boop Trunk. Sounds silly, doesn't it? Well, I know some people who are really good ventriloquists. Well, you're not. No, I'm not, Hisher.
Fred went to Latrobe High School. He started college at Dartmouth in New Hampshire, but then transferred to Rollins College in Florida, where he earned a degree in music composition in 1951. He planned to go on to the seminary, but along the way, he happened to see some television. In July of 1952, Fred married Joanne Bird, whom he'd met at Rollins. The next year, they moved to Pittsburgh because Fred decided to help start America's first community-sponsored television station, WQED.
During that early time, there was lots of preparation and lots of stuffing and folding papers to send out to people to ask for donations. And I thought, how different this is not only from New York, but from NBC. Here we were, just a half dozen people trying to get this educational television station on the air.
Fred worked with a perky young actress named Josie Carey. Together, they created the station's first regular program, The Children's Corner. The program was called simply Mr. Rogers, and for the first time, Fred was in front of the camera.
My name is Mr. Rogers. I'm glad that you are near. You've made this day a special day by just your being here.
The Mr. Rogers program was a hit in Canada, but before long, Fred moved back to Pittsburgh, and by then, Fred and Joanne had 2 young sons.
Hey, the red light. Hello?
Everybody needs a toy.
Hello! You talk.
Hello? Is this Edgar? Or is this Johnny?
From time to time, his boys visited the studio. Also by this time, after years of part-time study, Fred had been ordained a Presbyterian minister with a very special charge. He was to work with children and families through the mass media. It was a mission that he would take very seriously.
Pussycat is dressed, we can proceed.
By 1967, Fred was producing a new series of programs he called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
It really doesn't matter because they're not going to see just...
They just cut in on that side.
Yeah.
We're ready to go. Okay. Yeah, we're ready to go.
Meow, 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 meow. Wonderful.
I
Meow.
think we're in good shape now.
Meow, meow.
Like this.
Meow, try.
That's it. Hold
Meow.
it tight. And I'll take it from you like this. So we'll get ready for the festival.
Meow, meow. Exciting. Meow, meow. See you, meow, meow festival.
See you later.
Meow, 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 meow.
Is there any chance that we could have this in
As Fred worked on these new shows, he often talked with one of his teachers, the prominent child psychologist Dr. Margaret McFarland. One of their meetings was filmed for a documentary in the late 60s. Johnny Costa was just one of Fred's many creative collaborators who became loyal and long-lasting parts of the neighborhood. Fred gathered a sort of repertory troupe of actors and performers who appeared regularly on the show in both the realistic and the make-believe segments. Many of the cameramen and the technicians who worked on the show were part of the neighborhood for decades too. They knew the program structure inside and out. And while they captured Fred and his world on videotape, they also had an ancient tradition of joking with Fred.
All right. Okay. Are we having audio problems or something? What are we? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Fred came to trust these people around him, the folks who helped him end every program with this song, while he changed his shoes and got ready to go out the door again.
Wake up, ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good... Oh, that's mine. Whose are these? They're Jimmy's. Oh, Jim, do you have mine on? Oh, well,
I used to work with Jimmy and Nick and all those guys in the studio, and there was always somebody trying to make Fred laugh, usually Nick. Remember, Fred had been a floor manager at NBC, and he knew how important a good crew could be. Rogers became such an American institution that he was asked to donate a sweater to the Smithsonian.
These sweaters were all made by my mother, and I think she would be very pleased today.
Because Mr. Rogers and his neighborhood were so respected, it's not surprising that famous visitors dropped in, including many great artists. There is no question. Fred Rogers was an amazing and a creative person who continues to have a lasting effect on lots of people's lives. From the early days of Children's Corner through all his years on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Fred helped kids see lots of what made life good. And he let all his young neighbors know that they were all special and that he liked you just the way you are. But the more you learn about Fred, the clearer it becomes. He was truly the special one, a really wonderful neighbor. I'm Michael Keaton. Thanks.